Okay. So I put up this lovely virtual background because the boxes behind me were distracting me so much that I didn't want to get anyone else distracted. So this is my new vibe for Zoom that I'm really into. So we wanted to talk about retention tonight. And like I said, I'm not sure if Brittany is going to be able to hop on, but I have a couple of notes that I can share and she can always put her tips in our chat. But first, I kind of wanted to start out with a few shout outs. So I wanted to shout out both Sam and Ruby. I think Ruby might be coming on here shortly. Sam's going to try as well. But they both went Fast Start Silver this past week.
That's awesome.
So, right. That's such a big deal. So I wanted to make sure I called them out for that, congratulated them. I wanted to shout out Karen for her reset group. She has 6 people doing the reset right now and has them all in a chat. Yeah, and it's so great. They've all introduced themselves to each other. They're talking about what they liked, what they didn't like, their tips. It's been great. She added me in there today, so it's been a lot of fun to kind of like see how they're all in there doing with everything. And she has people in there who have done it in the past who are there to like support and give their tips. So that's really cool. So I wanted to say way to go, Karen, for doing that, because that's awesome. And I also wanted to shout out Jen, because I think Jen has been doing some things to get out of her comfort zone and going through some things and growing through some things. And I'm not going to put your business out there, but I just want you to know that I'm very proud of you. And I think you're doing awesome. And I think you should hear that and that you need to know that. And then I also wanted to shout out Brittany because it looks like she signed somebody up today or helped them at least grab their welcome pack. So wanted to make sure I said those things to you guys. Wanted to remind you that book club is officially starting tonight. It's after this call, 9:30 for us Eastern people, 8:30 Central. I'll be on, but I'm not going to stay on past 30 minutes. I kind of have to set that boundary for myself just to be able to go to bed. But I'm excited because we're going over the chapter 1 of Failing Forward. And then there is obviously a messenger event on Thursday. I'm not sure who is running it this week. I am not personally running it, but I know it will be available in there for us to invite our potential people to. So hopefully we can spend today, tomorrow, and Wednesday inviting anyone we've connected with over the weekend, or, going. Sometimes I like to go through my planner and look at, okay, who was I talking to 3 months ago? Because that 90-day rule really does work. So typically whoever we were talking to 90 days ago might be more open to it now. So sometimes I will go back that way. If I feel like I don't have anybody to invite, I try to go back to see who I've been talking to. So Thursday, 8:00 Central for that one. And then there is something that Bridget is starting on Thursday, and it's in the Gigi social group. Some of you may have seen the post already, but it is getting your products paid for. It's a blitz that she's doing. So it's going to be 7 days. She is giving away $50 to one person who completes all of the tasks for all 7 days, and then $20 to 2 people who also do the same thing. So I assume it's going to be random how she picks the people, but as long as you're doing each task every day kind of thing, that you will be entered to win. I think I have seen what she's going to be posting. We talked about something that Emily Roberts had come up with. I think it was like last month she showed it to me, and it was very much like a post or messaging or something along the lines of like reaching out to people, little things like that. And like obviously some training videos I think were in there as well, but all good things, all things that we should be doing anyways. So it's nice for those of us who have been doing this for a little while to kind of refresh, and it's a nice way to possibly reach out to your current customers who would maybe want to get their products covered. Because we talked about which group should we do this in, whether it should be like a headquarters thing. My first thought when she sent it, I was like, oh, are you going to do this in the community page? And I was like, wait, I don't know which group. And so we talked about it. So she's doing it in Gigi's social, because we both came to the conclusion that that is a group that we could add someone who's like, okay, maybe I want to get my products covered. Like that sounds like it could be a cool thing to do, but it's not Gigi headquarters where they're going to be overwhelmed and bombarded with training videos and all sorts of things they might not have any clue what that actually means. But Gigi Social is a bit more relaxed and chill and has pretty pictures and anything they could essentially want to post about or to share in stories. So we figured that that was just more of a open group to be able to add kind of anyone to, you know what I mean, without like overwhelming them. So it's going to be, all the posts are going to be in there, which I can put the link to the main post that she shared in our chat after this. And it is, yeah, I wrote down to make sure I said that it's a good way to see if you have anybody who would want to share. Like you can be like, hey, I have this whole group that's literally like all about sharing on social media and all the pictures and anything you could ever want. And we're running this little challenge, where we're going to give out some cash. You could also get 250 perk points kind of thing. Just seeing if you might have anybody who's interested, especially if they've maybe hinted in the past that they would maybe be a little bit open. You know what I mean? So there's that. And that is all my notes as far as like shout outs and announcements, things happening. So then I wanted to talk a little bit about retention, which I'm going to be 100% honest with you. It's not my strong suit. So I am training myself here. Okay. Completely being honest and training myself. Brittany was going to share because Brittany is very good with her retention system. I will say Brittany and I both had a realization where we were like, okay, we can sign people up all day, but we have a hole in keeping them. So she has her project broadcast set up in like a whole campaign thing where it automatically sends text messages out to people. I admire her for it. I'm like, show me how to do that. I don't know. It is a mental block I have that I need to get over and just set it up and do it that way. So one day I will. Maybe now that I've said it out loud to all of you guys, I'll be a little bit more accountable and set it actually up, right? But basically retention, like what is it and what helps with it, right? You guys all know that it is keeping your people that we have. And the goal or a good retention rate is 80%, meaning if we had 10 people sign up, 8 of them would still be ordering the next month. If you fall closer to 50%, where only half of those people are still ordering the following month, which is me, like I'm not out here tooting a horn or anything, like I fall way closer to that percentage than I do 80%. This is something then that like I know I need to work on. So if you feel like you are there, this is something that you would want to work on. I think it's important to, I have notes, so I keep looking down. Make mention though that we will always have people that leave. It's impossible to have 100% retention rate. People will leave because they aren't committed. They wanted a quick fix, right? Like their health is just not that important to them and they're done with it. They can't be into this for more than a month kind of thing. So just know, we're never, ever, 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 ever going to keep 100% of our people. It's impossible. And if you find someone that does, let me know what they're doing. Okay. So one of the things that helps, I have found the most, is having a plan from the jump. Like when you sign somebody up, that's technically, I would consider more so like when the real work actually starts. So having a plan, knowing what you're going to do. Some of the main things that I will do is welcoming them in GG Info. Make a little graphic, or if you need help with graphics, I can do a graphic for you, but welcoming them in GG Info and welcoming them in your stories. Because again, when you do it in stories and you tag them, they might share it to their story. And it's just one of the easiest ways to like kind of get the word out, kind of get them to share without even necessarily realizing that they're doing so. They might not share it, but if they did and somebody was like, what is that? Like, what are you doing? You know what I mean? It's just a way to potentially open up some conversation and open up their network. I also will say connecting them to your upline if you haven't, or you don't already have them in a 3-way, introducing them. I will tell people a lot. I'll introduce them to Bridget and say like, Bridget, or this is BK, like she's the one who helped me get started. She's helped me have a lot of success with my products, with my business, with motherhood, like she's a great resource and a great person to know. And if you ever can't get in touch with me, she would be who you would go to next. So I like them to know, like, if you can't for any reason get a hold of me, come to her kind of thing. Sending your people a getting started regimen, which we have those in GG headquarters. So if there's a graphic that has their welcome pack that they got, that's way easy to send. If not, which I find I run into this more often now because of the custom welcome packs, I will take the 5 minutes to type up like their quick regimen and how I would recommend them getting started with what they ordered. So sending that to them. And if you need help with like, how should I start them on these, just ask your upline and they will be able to help you. Filling them in on Perks Points, Pivotal, and the new Plexus Go app. I'm still getting into the habit of telling people about Plexus Go because it is so new, but I'm trying to make sure I tell everyone because, and I think of it this way now, I talk about Pivotal and then I tell them to download the Plexus Go app and let them know they can register for Pivotal right through that app. And that it's kind of all right there. I like to tell them that through the Pivotal program, they can complete the tasks and earn perk points to get free products. So I kind of like hype it up and tell them, there's the meal plans, there's workouts, there's recipes in here. Most people are loving this to help them, continue on with their success, help them stay accountable. And one of the big things, and this works best on the phone, and I will tell you it does because I've done it on the phone and I've done it off of the phone, but asking the magic question, which is after you've gone over everything with them, they've got their welcome pack ordered, and you ask them, if you're loving your products, do you think you'd be willing to share? Or are you open to sharing about them? However you want to word that. But if you're loving these products, do you think you'll share about them? Because they're either going to say, well, yeah, I would share, or you're going to find out what their objection is. You're going to find out if they're one of the people who want to have results first, or if they don't think they could do it, like if they have low belief in themselves kind of thing, or if they're like, I would never do anything like that. Like you'll be able to find out what their objective is, and you don't have to necessarily combat it right there, but going forward, like how to approach them about sharing. So that is big. I also like to tag people in the hydration post that we have in GG community. There's a great post there. It's under guides. I want to say it is Janessa. It's Janessa talking. We all did these videos a while back, but she did one on hydration, and I like to tag people in that to make sure they're drinking water, asking how much water they're drinking now, right? Because we all need water, need all the water, and helping them if they have any detox, right? Casting the vision for their second month, their third month. I do that a lot with perk points, letting them know by month 3, you can cash something in for free. So, if you've got your eye on something, let me know. We can tell you how many perks you're going to need for that, which I have a new chart. I think I put it in the team chat as far as like with the new updated perks, credits, amounts and whatnot. But really casting the vision for them and making sure that we set realistic expectations. And it's one of the things that I have been hearing a lot lately is not to oversell the products, right? And this is something that my boss used to tell me at Salon 700. She would say undersell and over deliver. So undersell them. Just don't like make it out like Plexus is a quick fix and it's going to fix all their problems. But let them know, like, if they're in this for the long game, that they will start to see these changes, right? So we want to help them have a good experience, get good results, plug them into the community for the support so they know, like, they are supported. There are people cheering for them. There are people that want to see them win, and maybe even help them get their products covered, because there's some statistic that says like 80% of the people that we can help get even just like one business building bonus will stick around longer, which is great. You know what I mean? Even if it's a product credit and they don't necessarily want the money, if they can get a product credit, that's great too. One of the other things that helps is checking your back office daily, because you can check your perks report and you can check for declines that way. Do you guys all know how to do that? Yeah. Jen, do you know?
I know how to check the perks report, but not the decline report.
Okay, I'm going to screen share, and I think this is great too, because for anybody who is watching the recording, if they don't know, you basically are going to go into your office. There is not a report for declines, but I go into points and ranks and scroll down. I load the data so that everybody comes up. All right, come on, computer. I might need to refresh my page. Well,
not tonight.
well. All right, is it gonna load? Why is it not loading? But anyways, basically what you do, there we go. I come over here. You can go buy subscriptions, or a lot of times
anything.
Yeah, it's black on my end.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's
all right,
black on my screen too.
All right, let me try one more time. Could you see it?
No.
What about now?
Nope.
Screen share is loading. Now it says I'm screen sharing, but it is black. Okay, well, not sure why then. I'll just explain it to you.
Perfect.
When you go into your back office and you hit your points in your rank, right? Hit your points, go all the way down, load the data so that you can see everybody in there. And then I will slide over and go to either order status or subscription. You can kind of arrange it whichever way you prefer. I like to go by order status. And if it is showing the blue link, like their order went through, but 0 points, that typically means their order declined. So
Okay.
if it's looking like their order was supposed to run, but you're showing no points, usually you can tell it's a decline. Sometimes it will look that way if it is their annual renewal, which you want to check that and, just make sure it went through. And you'll see, like in that case, if it is, what's today, the 17th. So if I go in there and I see that blue link and 0 points, I'm first going to think like, oh, their order declined. But if their order is set for, the 28th, then I know it was probably their annual renewal. But you can just click the blue thing and see what it was regardless. And then you guys know how to do perks. For anyone who doesn't know, if they might be watching this, it is under my business perks report. I put that in order by days to forfeit so that I can see clearly who's going to forfeit and how many days they have. And then I also will put it in order of the amount of perks that they have so that I can do customer care and go to people and be like, hey, did you know you have 500 perk points? Do you want to cash them in this month? Or like, are you saving them up? You have 900 points, doing it that way, I think is a nice way to kind of just check in, and no one's mad when you're like, hey, you can get free stuff.
I have a question. I have a question about that. Okay. So do you lose perk points after a certain amount of time?
Like
if you haven't cashed them in, but you still, okay.
I know what you mean. I want to say they expire after a year of sitting without using them. I'd have to double check.
Because I feel like a couple of my customers, like their perk points, some of them had expired, but they hadn't canceled anything. So that's why I was wondering.
Well, that shouldn't be right. That sounds like maybe there was like a glitch, or maybe they dropped under 100 PV for more than the 3 days kind of thing. But if they're not, or you think like that might not be right, let me know and we can like check with customer service and email in and see what went on.
I kept meaning to ask you that and I kept forgetting.
Yeah, that shouldn't. I mean, the only way they lose them obviously is if they turn their subscription off or under 100 PV and they have 3 days to adjust it. Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I think that is all that I have for retention. So maybe it's a good thing Brittany didn't come on because I took up all the time. Do you guys have any questions at all?
I obviously will not be in the meeting for the book club.
Right. Yeah. And we can just talk about that, between you and us or in our small chat. I know that it is late. I'm stretching it, staying up, but like I be on there for 30 minutes and then I'm going to bed.
I can't do it.
It's late.
It is. And our alarm goes off at 4:30. So
Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah.
that's early.
Oh,
All
all
right.
right.
If
That's
there's no questions or anything, I think we're good. I will stop recording.